welcome everyone to the fourth episode of Andor for the second week, the Spoilercast. As always, I am Mitch. You can follow me on Twitter at 692tweets and Instagram at 692pics. And of course, I'm joined by Sean.
What's up? You can join me on Instagram on Marvin_the_12.
I'm going to apologize if I go really croaky. I am having a coughing fit right now. I don't. It's just purely a dry. I smoked too much today. That's what it is.
Well, at least it's not the alternative.
Well, fingers crossed it's not the Rona. I've been out and about recently, but I hope fingers crossed that don't come back. Someone in my clan for Destiny has got it for the third time, I think.
Jesus,
I'm like, you just collecting every strain. What are you doing? Stop it.
We are active, between all the traveling we're going to be doing in the next couple of months. We've been actively avoiding big places.
We're
like Instacart, everything is being delivered. We just drop the kid off. We're even taking the kid out of school for at least a couple of days because we're like,
okay,
cannot miss New York.
Yeah, don't get the Rona. I can't recommend it. It's not fun. Even with a light case, it's not fun. No, I've never had that muscle ache in my life ever. I'm actually going to die right now. This is how I go out with a really uncomfortable sitting. It's
never a good feeling, right?
I'm just covered in snot because that don't stop either. It's anyway, enough about that. Andor. I'm just going to be honest. I'm giving this show 2 more weeks.
Oh man!
If it's by the halfway point and I still don't give a crap about anyone, I'm just gonna wait until the finale and talk about it. I can't sit here for 12 weeks. How many would it be? It is 3. I can't sit here for 9 weeks being like I'm bored. I just can't. I just can't do it.
We can just stop recording 2 episodes and then 4 episodes and done.
It's gotten to episode 6. No, I figured that's a fair crack at it.
I don't know. I'm 100% on the opposite side. I'm enjoying the show. I think this is what people have been asking. I think people have been asking for a different aspect of the Star Wars universe. I think this is I've talked to people that are Star Wars fans and loving the show, and I've also talked to people
I know, Jared in his lot over there, Scotty and all that, from what I've seen, on Twitter, I haven't actually spoken to him personally, but what I've seen, they're loving it, and it's you know what, I can get why you would. And as I said last time, there is stuff I enjoy, but it's been 4 episodes now, and we've only just done the setup, and the setup is literally we're Rogue One again.
Well, I honestly don't think. I think saying that kind of has a disservice to the show because it's not going to be that. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of a disservice to the show.
In fairness to himself, I'm only going by what he's been giving me so far, and this week, it's.
Is it the slow burn that's
no, it's not the slow burn, the slightest. I don't mind. Rings of Power is by far the best show of the last 10 years for me right now. That thing is slow.
I haven't seen it.
Watch it is fantastic. If you ever liked Lord of the Rings, you owe it to yourself to watch that show. It is phenomenal right now.
I'm in the middle with Lord of the Rings. I like it, but
I'm not seriously. That hurts my little heart.
I'm not a huge sword and sorcery type guy. It looks great. It looks fantastic, but I think for me with that show is I got burned on The Hobbit horribly.
100%, yeah. But this is.
But then I also look at what the Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I hope the heck it is not like that because no,
it's nothing.
That
like
show looks boring.
I'm sorry. Legit, House of the Dragon. It had me, and I was really enjoying. The first episode, fine, right? It gave me enough there to warrant carrying on with it, and then, excuse me. I told you I apologize at the start for this, but my
First of
biggest
many
thing.
coughs, I'm sure.
I tend to try and mute myself.
Cough,
But like Matt Smith was always my biggest thing with House of the Dragon, and
yeah,
it's
not a fan.
he just can't act. He's
Not a
awful.
fan.
He's got a squeaky voice and he's trying to be menacing. I'm just like, what the hell is this guy? But then they just literally done like a 10-year time jump, and everyone I cared about is completely different. They look obviously they look completely different. They act completely different. I'm like,
they're different people too.
Right? Again. Why not just start here? Like, what's going on? And it's I'm not. I'm not horrendously down on that show, but it's lost a little bit for me. We'll see if it can get it back. Rings of Power is a completely different beast.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones. Never had an urge to do it. I never had an urge to watch that show. Everyone calls me crazy, but it's like you have to think about it. In the course of a day, you have a very finite amount of time.
Oh, you do, but there's always time for Game of Thrones.
And I want to dedicate that to stuff that I actually are into.
Yeah.
Although maybe one day when I take my trip, when we take the trip to Japan in December, maybe I'll sit down and watch the episode, season 1. But it's like
I was gonna say with Game of Thrones, you have to give it the first season because it's slow.
But it's
like that first season's slow.
But for me right now, it's so far into their story. I had to invest a lot more time, and I don't know if I'm willing to do that. And
I totally get that. I do that all the time.
And I feel like the Game of Thrones prequel seems to be like you have to watch whatever Game of Thrones was to get kind of.
I don't think you need to watch Game of Thrones to enjoy House of the Dragon or Hot D. Yeah. I
don't know. Maybe one day. There's like a lot more stuff that I'm more interested in giving the time to.
Because I was like, obviously, this is. This shows you where I'm at with Andor, right? We're talking about Game of Thrones. With Game of Thrones, I got into it late. I was like season 3, I think. I say late, nearly halfway through the damn entire thing. But I was like you. I was like, I don't really. I'm so far behind. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it. I've got nothing else going on. I'm gonna watch it. And I watched it, and I'm like, people are really going on about this show. And then one thing happens, and you're like, oh damn. No, you just got me from there, and I was like, everyone's got to watch this thing.
Well, I think the same thing happened with me with Breaking Bad, and I did give that a chance, and I ended up being.
I was on that
show.
That show.
I wish I was, but I think I was late to the game. Maybe it was like 1 or 2 seasons in, but like once I started watching it, I was like, okay, I'm into this.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad until it finished.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
I think I literally caught up in time for the last episode. And I watched that one live. The only episode I saw with everyone else of Breaking Bad was the last one.
But like Game of Thrones seems just like a very investment that. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll have, but maybe as of right now, it's not on the schedule. So, but I mean, as for Andor, I don't know, man. I think people.
I get why people like it, right? All 10 of you that are watching this show, and that's
more than 10.
I had to, because I see no one talk about this, and I'm like, is it actually out right now? Like it's kind of.
I think it. You know what it suffers from? It suffers from a lot of bias.
I think it's a combination of there might be a bit of bias in there, even though I do think Rogue One's one of the more popular recent Disney movies they've done for Star Wars.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I also think there's a lot of stuff out. There's a lot of content.
Yeah.
You've got House of the Dragon, you've got Rings of Power, which that show's so good. You've got She-Hulk, there's Andor, there's a ton. Like I don't know the Venn diagram of this, but like anime's about to have a huge month in October. Like you've got so much coming out of that, and like there's so much on right now.
That's a first world problem for fans, but a problem for studios, big time. Because it's like now you have to kind of stand out.
I do kind of think though. Like I agree to an extent. There might be a bit of bias. It's a prequel. Who gives a crap? guilty. I fall into that. I'm very much in the same. Even now, I'm like, I don't care about anyone in here because I have no reason. But
I think
it's yeah.
Well, I think see what I love about short seasons is they kind of get to the point pretty quickly, right? Like the first 2 episodes is set up, and then by the third, you're kind of in the story.
Yeah, your third episode's like your second act sort of thing. If you do 6 like Marvel does,
if you're doing like a 6 episode arc, and then with the longer episode count, it kind of gives the writers the room to kind of write these little episodes that are kind of attached to the story but not really. And then you also got the runtime. The runtime is the funny thing
I think for this show actually the runtime, that 40 minutes for this is perfect.
Well, I've seen a lot of negative comments about, oh, it's too long, but it's like, one, this is what people were griping about.
Yeah, but I think it's a knife edge, right? There's that delicate balance between what type of show you are, how good, like how tight your script is and everything, and like how long you can be.
Yeah.
Like She-Hulk. If She-Hulk's an hour long, the whole thing falls apart, right? It's not meant. You can't have that. Like, you're not going to have an Adam Sandler movie be 3 hours, right? People are actually going to be like sent to insane asylums and all this sort of stuff. Like, you're not going to get that.
Well, we'll get into the She-Hulk runtimes when we talk about the She-Hulk, but I do agree with that. It's I think this show definitely needs that runtime to kind of. It's a very exposition heavy show. So you almost have to be paying attention to understand what's going on, and I think one that might be a problem with some people because they're used to like, just give me it all right now, give me all the action right now.
That's definitely a problem with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
But like that the funny thing about that is like when you do that becomes the problem, I think the show, in my opinion, I think the show kind of balances it perfectly because it also gives exactly what Star Wars fans were asking, is like, this is almost disconnected this is a little bit more disconnected to the Star Wars universe. There's no mention of any Skywalkers.
Right. Because fantastic segue. The best bit about this entire show, which I'm it's incredibly, I say it's unironically, right? Entirely unironically, is Skarsgård's little art gallery museum. I could sit and watch that stuff for hours, just looking at there's Indiana Jones references in there. There's the Force Unleashed, the Sith Stalker armor. Like, that's a hell of a lot of questions. The man's has 2 holocrons, a Jedi and a Sith one, just sitting there. How is he allowed to have this sort of stuff? He's on Coruscant where the Emperor literally just chills out. How does no one know he has this? Like, the most interesting bit for me, unfortunately for this show, is the fan service that apparently wasn't going to be in it. It's like,
but this isn't the shove in your face fan service that we got.
It's not shoving your face, no. But like,
it's very
when you put in the background like a thing for the world between worlds, like the weird space stuff that I constantly say I want from everything. Like, don't just go back to that. Like, just I want to know how he has this thing and what it's about.
I think we're gonna get some of that in the future episodes. Like,
I hope so. I hope it's before episode 7. I really do.
I think Skarsgård's character is the most interesting one in the episode. But what I loved about because it's a very espionage type. It's a Tony Gilroy joint to begin with. The guy.
Yeah.
The guy. Say what you will about the. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, I was interrupting you.
Sorry. I was gonna say what you will about Rogue One. I think that movie does exactly what it was supposed to do, and like it delivered a lot of action and intrigue, and like Tony Gilroy being involved with this show, it kind of does that too, without, I think, the shove in your face, Star Wars, fan service, and I like it. I don't mind these talky, wordy episodes because it's
no, I don't mind either.
And like, when people say it's boring, to me, it's not boring. I love the interactions with the characters. Some characters you don't know who they are. Some characters you know who they are, and you're just getting a glimpse of where they came from. You know, like the Mon Mothma character. You know, like you know.
Well, it's you know,
so it's
if I had any interest in the Rogue One lot, I'd be right there with you with this show as a whole. Right? It's you know, it's only. I'm purely only saying that I'm bored by it because like, there's nothing for me to get attached to. Like the Skarsgård stuff, he's interesting, right? Like how does he know all this stuff about Andor? How has he got all this stuff? Like why is he the only person in the history of anything to wear the wig in his day-to-day job, but not like the man is doing it backwards and fascinating me. I was like, he's doing this the wrong way. But it's a really good wig. I'll give them that. That was
it's a very good rug.
But it was just like, this is like. Well, but even with that, and it's like, I don't know. I know I'm not going to get that horrendous. Well, I say I don't know. I'm not expecting to get a deep dive onto his character and everything because it's. I hope. If the show just pivots and it's like, hey, we're on Skarsgård now, like fantastic. I mean, well, but I'm so not expecting that. It's just a struggle for me right now. Like,
well, Andor is the main character, but you're going to get some backstory on some of the characters that are peripheral.
I hope so, because like Skarsgård with the Kyber, was it a Kyber? Little crystal it gave, like I don't know, it's like a Kyber and something else, like an alloy or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like his whole thing saying that and then referencing Knights of the Old Republic with the Rakatar, or whatever they're called, like that stuff is just like, well, can we talk about that a bit more? Like, how do you know? What are you like? Who are you? Like, he's the only like the small little bait for this show for me right now. But I think it's probably because I'm not expecting him to be a major factor in this show that I'm just like, oh, okay.
But I mean, you may be pleasantly surprised.
I hope.
The course of the show.
Again, if it's episode 6, perfect timing. You kept me on board for 6 weeks, but. If it's 7, no, it's unfortunate. No.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a different flavor for Star Wars.
I would agree with that. Yeah, definitely.
You know, it does something different with the source material without going into like laser fights, you know, or pew pew, you know.
That we are going to get a ship with lightsabers in it. Right.
Well, we could, you know, but like.
I mean, it was in the trailer. Like I saw that. But I was like, that's kind of cool.
I personally like Andor as a character. I think he's interesting. I think looking at his backstory and how he became that guy that is like morally gray. It's like what I love about the show so far is like it's saying that like up to this point we all thought the rebellion was like good. The guy with the white hat, you know, that did good for everybody.
Yeah.
And then Rogue One comes along and says, "No, there's people that did a lot of gray areas." It kind of mimics real life. Where, I mean, if you look at like a government, it's U.S. government, not exactly good people all the time. You know, and we do
a lot
of shady stuff.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, very understatement. But I mean, I feel like it's kind of a commentary on how the government works, you know, like
100%.
Even the rebellion isn't like the guy with the white hat that walks into town that's going to save everybody. It has the people who that started this rebellion knows that you have to get your hands dirty to do things. You know, you can't just go around and I feel like Andor is that guy, you know, where he is like so committed to this cause. By the end of the series, you're going to start to see that. Like you're gonna start seeing a little bit of what you got to know in Rogue One and that character.
Yeah,
he is like committed. He will kill people, you know. I mean, this not just shoot somebody. He's the type of guy that's gonna like smother you. You know, like you know, I find interesting because it shows a different side of the rebellion. You know, where you don't see that in the prequels and the sequels and even in the most recent sequels, it's like all you see is like,
they're all pure and fantastic.
Yeah,
and this
you know, and it's like you and that's why I feel that Andor's a more. I'm sure going to get flagged for this in the comments, but this is my opinion. I think Andor is more of a developed character than Han Solo ever was. Han Solo was an archetype.
Ooh,
you know, I'm sorry.
right.
Yeah, man. You know, shoot me. You know, send me hate mail. I don't care. You know, that's just
give me engagement. Give me
I will engage you back. You know, but like
good because that drives it. Just keep arguing. That's totally
I like poking the bear a lot, so you know, get used to that. But you know, that's just my opinion. I think the character is a little bit more developed than Han Solo was the pretend bad guy. You know, he never had the. I don't think he ever would turn against Luke and Leia and all them. You know, like he you know, he was a good guy. You know, and he just have that rough exterior. You know.
As I see, I developed more than, and I can't agree with that one. Especially for a guy that literally had one movie, he was in it. He was one like everyone in Rogue One was a one note like caricature. Maybe by the end of this season, he could be more developed than Solo, but Andor is an archetype, and it's an archetype Star Wars has a lot of.
I don't know. I don't. How many people? How many? But like, are they a part of the rebellion? Like every person that you see a part of the rebellion are like, hey, we're gonna do good for you. We're doing this for the people. We're doing this for the people. It's like, but Andor, that character of Andor is like, look, I am doing it for the rebellion, and I will kill you. I will snuff your life. I will put, I like this would be the guy that I would think that would bomb. If it would help further the cause, would do something that could cause collateral damage.
But that's just an archetype with an edge, right?
But tell me one movie that has any original art. It's all archetypes.
I mean, I'm not saying no.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. Like, archetypes are an archetype for a reason, right? Like you have that
but it's
thing.
A more
it's
interesting
like
archetype than I feel it's a more interesting archetype.
I'd put Solo and Andor in the same archetype, to be honest.
I don't know. Like I don't see Han Solo doing some of the things that.
No, but that's a character difference, right? It's not an archetype. No, they go. You're under the same bracket. You just different.
But I never believed that Han Solo would be a bad guy or turn his back on somebody. I never. In every movie that I've ever seen him in, I've never seen that character go. Oh, maybe he will turn against them. It's always, oh yeah, he'll be on their side. Like it. But like Andor doesn't seem like that's the character that would be very like I would be questioning whether or not that guy would be truly on my side. I don't know. That's just how I see it. I see it as like he's so stuck in that morally gray area where he is like, because by the time you see him in Rogue One, if someone told him to point and they shoot in that direction, he would have shot in that direction. Only by the end of the movie did he really break that hold on that he had, that belief system. Like, I mean, he was going to kill Generous's father. He objected to it, but I think if given more time, I'm sure he would have done it. I don't know. That's just how I see it. How I see it, I see that there's.
I mean, that's totally fine. I just fundamentally disagree on that point. I think they're very much they're in the same archetype. They're just different characters. Like the characteristics don't change the archetype necessarily.
Okay, I'll agree that they are in the same archetype, but I think that
one's just more interesting for you than the other one.
Yeah.
Totally fine. I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong. Like, it's just
not that I don't like Han Solo the character. It's just like I already know what Han Solo is going to do. Even not watching the movie, I know that he's going to make the right choice all the time. The choice that would not hurt somebody. Or whereas Andor is like he's kind of a question mark. Like if it helps the rebellion, he's going to do what he needs to do.
Is that because Andor is such a relatively new, he's only had one movie in 4 episodes, whereas you had a whole trilogy with Han, and that straight up, now every time you see him. Right?
I mean, even when I watched Star Wars for the first time when I was a kid, I didn't ever get that idea that that Han Solo was gonna turn against Luke Skywalker. I mean, I never once got that from the character. I felt like he was a BA for sure. He was a very cocky guy. Yeah, but was he gonna turn his back on his quote unquote friend? I mean, by the middle of Star Wars, towards the end of Star Wars, they're friends, right? You know, so like I don't see Andor doing that.
That's
right
fair.
now
That's
at
fair.
this point. You know, I see Han Solo being very. I mean, Han Solo, great character. It's just a little less interesting than.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah,
but
please engage
me. Give me that engagement, no, please. But no, I honestly, this episode, it kind of drove home that this. I think I'm going to have the same problem I had with Peacemaker, where it's like hey, this is a spin-off. We're doing virtually the same story. Like, okay, this is he's got to smuggle into a place. He's got to, at least for now, right? Like, you know, it's kind of in a position that someone is of having seen everything. It's like, you know, if it's going to go one way or the other. But like, this is like, I've seen this before, and I didn't like it the first time around.
Yeah,
and you're asking me to watch it again and like it, like, you know, it very well could end up being better. I very well could end up liking it as opposed to Rogue One, which I just got bored by Rogue One, but it's.
I hope, my hope is like by the end of the series, if someone gives it to that end of the series, they have a little bit more appreciation to the character, and like, I don't know, you know, maybe. I
mean, I can appreciate the character, right? I can appreciate, you know, his right to, you know, actually have this franchise, but it's just one of those.
Not. I mean, in universe, I guess maybe I should have been more specific. As like a character that is a quality character, you know, like, and again, I'm gonna get flagged for it. Peacemaker is not a quality character.
No, you know it's not a quality character when the Hot Toys gives him that head sculpt and they have to change it. I mean, that's and
it's story. A very yeah, it's probably the most under pre-ordered Hot Toys. But anyways, I digress. You know, I think you know, I hope by the end of the series that like. Look, I'm not. Look, I don't care if someone likes it or not. That's their prerogative. That's how they feel. But I hope that people appreciate it a little bit more versus, I don't care. You know, haters are gonna hate. Then some people are never gonna get swayed. You know, to whatever. You know, you see it all the time. Nobody. You know.
Yeah.
No. But I just hope.
I mean, everyone does it, right? Everyone's a stubborn old goat with their opinions half the time. Like,
I'm guilty of it.
Your heels in. Yeah.
I'm guilty of it.
I'm guilty of it right now. Like this, I'm currently unwavering with this show. It's like, no, you give me one little nugget of interesting thing, and I refuse to believe you're going to do anything with it. But
you're the old man and up right now. You know, get off my lawn.
I'm really looking forward. As if Jared actually comes on for this one. I hope he does. Like, I'm looking forward to.
It would be nice to have someone on my side.
Looking forward to the earful of how wrong I am and how bad I am for being bored by
and someone more articulate, you know, so like I could just go, sure, yeah, see, go get it.
The guy behind the bully, just like, yeah, get him, yeah.
It'll be the first time I will not probably talk in an episode and just speak. You know.
You know, I know he did it with Book of Boba Fett. He came in the call like it was boisterous like he is, and I'm just like, whoa, calm down, Jared. I like the show.
I do like Jared because he's a little bit more optimistic about things, you know, and like.
I mean, nice Jared loves the prequels, right? He's gonna like anything stuff. I called you.
It's nice to have someone on my side every once in a while.
I know it's
one-man army here.
Yeah. No, I just want to like this show. I don't like. This is why I didn't do talk about the DC stuff that much. The shows bore me. Like, they're bad. I don't want to sit here every week and be like, oh, this is bad. This was bad. This was boring. It's enough of that online, right? Like, if I wanted to do that stuff, I'd go be a grifter. I'd be people going on about why it's bad Daredevil's not in She-Hulk when they said he was going to be in She-Hulk when they never said he was going to be in that episode. You know, it's I don't want to be one of those guys. Like
you want to join truth.com and give your opinion on it. Yes,
I'm gonna be a nerd and gamer.
A nerd incel, you know. It's a very elite group.
Yeah, clearly.
I don't think they need any more members. So,
I'm not bald enough. Those guys, I've got too much hair. They're all bald.
It's true. They got that.
It's all the anger and anxiety they have. It just makes them bald. And it's like,
well, it's worse than that. They got the shoe horse. What is it called? Horseshoe hair. You know, where it's like it's all bald in the middle.
Oh, like, the old Friar Tuck cut.
Yeah.
The old monk
like,
hair. So, yeah.
And they refuse to cut it because they don't want to admit that they're losing their hair.
There's a reason why they all wear hats, people.
It's pretty sad.
They're covering up a horrendous bald spot. Knock on wood, I never get there. Sorry, Doug, that was my fault.
If it's one thing that Bruce Willis has done correctly, he has embraced his baldness.
He went bald gracefully.
He shaved his head and said, "You know what? This is my new look." You know.
Luckily, anyway. I don't think any man in my family's gone bald, as far as I'm aware. We just have really bad hairline, so I'm fingers crossed.
I'm 50% Italian, so like they have hair.
Oh, you're fine. You're sorted. Yeah, you're like a Wookiee. Anyway,
if I need more hair, I can just shave it off my chest.
That's the half hour. We got onto the balding talk for the end of Andor. So yeah, tune in next week to see if I have the same.
The same talk.
You know. There might only be 3 of these left for this series on this channel from me.
Well, if we do that, we should get Jared on that last episode. So
that was the plan, right? You know, I wasn't just gonna outright stop talking about this show. Like I'd be like, I'm just gonna move it to I talk about it all in one. Like we'll go to the end. Like for all I know, like you know, I've seen everything twice now because I have to actually watch everything twice because I miss stuff. I'm not looking at my phone. I just go into a trance, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Just like, well, I've missed something, and just like rewind. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I watched it twice. I'll probably watch everything twice for the 12 episodes. Can you shut up, dog? That was my fault. Stuffing off with the knocking on the table. But anyway,
it's the first time it has nothing to do with my kids in the background. So
purely my own fault. No, I don't think anyone's come home.
We're gonna get a comment that says, "Why is there a dog in the recording?"
Yeah. People can't even probably hear him because sometimes it doesn't actually get picked up in the mic. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just apologizing for no reason. That was
if there is, I'll engage that too. So don't worry.
Yeah. So
I engage all comments.
So yeah, we'll catch you next week for the countdown of Andor.
Could it be the last episode? Who knows?
No, I'm giving. It's got until 6. I'm giving it the halfway point, and then.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I don't want to.
Fair.
The last thing I want to do is bore people about my boring opinion about me being bored by this show.
I mean, we could just pivot into like other talk in the middle.
What's become of a power show? Like, I'll do that. Just be like, yeah, no, the ring.
I'll read the Wikipedia page so we can talk about it.
Then roles would be reversed, right? I'll be the one liking it, and then you'll be the bored one.
Yeah. See, we know how to put a new spin on the show. So.
This is what they call the quality, right? I'm bored. Bored. Like it's fine. It's all good. But yeah. So bye bye.